Okay, let's now go across live and exclusive to Chennai. Joining us from there, the triumphant leader of the DMK, all set now for a DMK government under the leadership of her brother and party leader, Mr. M.K. Stalin, to be sworn in. Kanimozhi joins us now from Chennai. Ma'am, welcome. Congratulations. It was a tough, bruising fight till the end. You've now comfortably and very easily crossed the finishing line, but were there some anxious moments yesterday when the counting was on?
Of course, I think election and counting is a very anxious time for all parties which have contested, and yes, there were anxious moments, but finally I think it's a very clear mandate and we're very happy about that.
So what, according to you, is the number one priority of the new DMK government in Tamil Nadu? Because you're coming in at a time when the state and the rest of the country is dealing with a massive COVID pandemic. So celebrations need to be muted. What are your key priorities as you get started?
Yes. No, our party leader and Mr. M.K. Stalin has very clearly asked our party cadres and office bearers to keep the celebrations, as subtle as possible and not to celebrate the victory. And he has also said, taking COVID considerations and the situations into consideration, we will not have a big swearing-in ceremony. It will only be in the Raj Bhavan. And I think the first challenge for the DMK government in Tamil Nadu will be the COVID situation, as it is for the entire country. And the numbers are rising, even if it is not as bad as a few other states. Still, today I think Tamil Nadu has a shortage of beds and oxygen and the antiviral vaccines. The cases are rising. So we are very worried, and I think that will be the first priority.
Your party leader and other opposition leaders have got together to write to Prime Minister Modi asking for changes in the way vaccines are being rolled out and in the way India is going about its fight against COVID. Can I start with the universal vaccine program? What are your specific recommendations? What are the changes you'd like the government to ring in?
No, I think one of the requests, from party leaders and our party leader also has been that, vaccination should be, free and free of cost to people, and also the central government cannot expect the state governments to buy the vaccine. This is not right. This is what many of the leaders have written to the Prime Minister. And there's a shortage in oxygen supply, and the vaccine also has not reached. Even if Tamil Nadu is trying to have a vaccination drive, we don't have enough vaccines to reach out to people, and the entire nation has a shortage. The Prime Minister had promised vaccines for people below 45. But we do not have enough vaccines to vaccinate the young people who come forward to get vaccinated. So this problem has to be dealt with and solved.
In America, Anthony Fauci; in India, AIIMS director Randeep Guleria and many others have asked for a national lockdown. Is the DMK of the view, ma'am, that there should be a national lockdown to deal with the surging cases of coronavirus, to give us some time to augment our healthcare capacities?
I think there are a few states which have announced a lockdown, and I think we should do that on based on what's happening within a state. And I think it's too early for the DMK to comment about lockdown, because I think the new government has to get briefed as a government. We've looked at the whole issue as an opposition party, from outside. Today, I think the Chief Minister will be briefed, and after that, once he assumes power, then I'm sure he will make a decision about how this government will go about resolving and solving the problems connected with this.
Now, your father served as Chief Minister of the state of Tamil Nadu. Now, your brother is going to have an opportunity to play that role. What are the similarities or dissimilarities you see between father and brother? If people in Tamil Nadu and elsewhere are wondering what kind of government should they expect from MK Stalin, what would you be telling them as someone who's had a ringside view to both their personalities and you know their makeup inside out?
Both of them are very hardworking people, and that is similarity I think many people have noticed about them. And definitely my brother M.K. Stalin has proved himself as an able administrator. I think that is going to be his strength. He knows administration, he understands how the government functions, and he has been the Deputy Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, and he will be able to understand how the government functions and how it should function. And his focus as a DMK leader and a leader who has inherited the legacy of the Dravidian movement will look at social justice, inclusive development, and a scientific temper, and definitely state rights. This will be our focus.
Is there a tinge of disappointment in the results? The exit polls predicted a bigger victory. You won in style, but the AIADMK has emerged as a formidable opposition under the leadership of E. Palanisamy. If they'd got between 30, 40, 50 seats, there would have been an internal leadership wrangling about whether Sasikala is coming back, whether EPS will continue to be leader. With the number of seats that the AIADMK has ended up with, they're a formidable opposition. Does that make life tougher for the new DMK government of Mr. Stalin?
Not at all. We've always welcomed very strong opposition, and it's very healthy to have a good and strong opposition in a democracy, and we welcome it. And you would have always seen, if you've seen the functioning of the DMK, and when we've been in governance and how we run the assembly, we've always given opportunity, and we've always listened to the opposition views and different views from different opposition parties. It's not that only the main opposition party is given importance. We've always listened to different views and views of the opposition party. So we believe in democracy, and we welcome and we wish the opposition AIADMK all the best.
You are your party's main leader in Delhi. What, according to you, ma'am, are the national political takeaways of the verdict, not just in Tamil Nadu, but the BJP's inability to win West Bengal, even though they increased their vote and seat share in comparison with the previous assembly elections? How are you looking at the national takeaways from this round of assembly elections?
No, definitely. I mean, people believe that their identity, their language, the state has to be respected. The state rights of the people in the states have to be respected, and the state governments have to be respected. I think this is something which we've all understood, after the election results. And also the farmers' crisis and the farm bills and the protests, they've lost focus because of the COVID situation, and media is focusing on that, and everybody is talking about the pandemic. I mean, rightly so also, but I think the anger is still there in the minds of people, and their fear is still there. CAA protests had to stop because of the COVID situation, but then the fear in people's minds are still there. So I think the government has to understand to respect the opinion of the people and also to treat states with respect and to preserve state rights. I mean, this is a
Okay, and
country
any
which
words of
believes in
advice for
federalism.
your ally, the Congress party? The Congress party is your ally in Tamil Nadu, where you helped them
I
piggyback
don't
to
I don't
victory.
have advice.
But in Kerala and in Assam, where the party fought.
I don't have. I
In
don't
Kerala
think,
and in Assam, where the party
anybody
fought
needs
against
any
the
advice.
BJP, they
People
didn't
know
do so
what
well.
is-
How do you view the fortunes of the Congress party, and what do you think is the way forward for the Congress to be able to revive itself, ma'am?
No, I cannot talk about the Congress party, and it's not right for me to talk about or comment about another party. And we've always had a very good relationship in Tamil Nadu, and we will work together in Tamil Nadu, for to create a better future for Tamil Nadu and to ensure that this country is a secular country.
How are you defining your role over the next 5 years? During the campaign, we saw you emerged as a popular icon for women and for young people in Tamil Nadu. How do you see yourself acting as a bridge, or what kind of a role do you see yourself play over the next 5 years in this new DMK dispensation in Tamil Nadu?
I hope as a government and as a parliamentarian, I can convince and push the government with the support of other parties to pass the 33% women's reservation bill. I think that will be a big step to empower women of this country. And we might be having our differences ideologically and politically, but still the government in the center and the state governments have to work together. I do hope that I will be able to, work towards that, and also to make sure that the interests of Tamil Nadu is protected.
Well, you have many a challenge ahead of you immediately and over the next 5 years. We wish you and your party all the very best. Congratulations on a big historic victory. We'll track how the government performs from here on. Kanimozhi, thank you so much, ma'am, for joining us.
Yeah, sure.
All the best. Thank you.
Thank you, Raj.